How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this excellent video of a father and daughter duo ranking critical race theory. Now, a lot of you guys have been sending me this video, and I know I'm a little bit late to the party. Please don't shoot me, but you guys got to check this out if you haven't seen it yet. After we get done watching this, I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Daddy teaches you can be anything in this world that you want to be, right? Don't Daddy teach you that?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white or any color.
Doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, right?
Black.
And how we treat people is based on who they are and not what color they are.
And if they're nice and smart.
See, this is how children think right here. Critical race theory wants to end that. Not with my children. It's not gonna happen. My baby's gonna know that no matter what she wants to be in life, all she has to do is work hard, and she can become that.
Work hard, even though you don't know anyone. You can make friends.
Yeah, you can make friends, no matter what color they are. So we need to stop CRT. Period. Point blank. Children do not see skin color, man. They love everybody. If they're good people, they love them.
We pray for people that are hurt.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, hey, bravo, hats off. That was excellent. Very, very good. Shout out to the dad and the mom for raising this little girl right. She is very well spoken, can handle a conversation with adults pretty well from what I've been able to see in that video. You know, a lot of little kids that's her age, 6 years old, aren't really that good. She was excellent in that video. So hats off to mom and dad for raising a very good young girl right there. Now, the father in the video, his name is Corey Yeshua, and the daughter's name is Royalty. He's on TikTok, by the way. He has a pretty big following, like 250,000 subs, and growing, of course, because he's going viral all over the place. I saw him on Sky News Canada. I saw him on Dave Rubin. He's everywhere. And if you want to follow him on the TikToks, there's a link in the box. He's also on YouTube, but his TikTok, that's probably the bigger platform right now. But getting right back to it, what they said about critical race theory is right on point. Now, I got to back up a little bit to explain to you what critical race theory is a little bit, just so you kind of understand and just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, critical race theory is an ideology that's taught to a lot of kids in K through 12, in college, and also in the workplace. People are being taught about critical race theory. Now, those that are critical race theory practitioners think that they're being anti-racist. And if you don't want to get down with critical race theory, then you are a racist. You don't want to be anti-racist. Therefore, you're the problem. But what are they trying to accomplish with critical race theory? What are some of the core tenets? Well, the main thing is they want to categorize everyone by race. And they say that any problem in America, any issue that you face can somehow be traced back to racism, right? And the perpetrators of racism, the racists, whether they know it or not, are white people, white men, white women, racists, period. Anyone else, the so-called people of color, colored people, same thing. Anyway, the non-whites, they can't be racist because they have no power. They're pretty much nobody in society, second-class citizens, third-class citizens. They're the weak. They're the meek. They can't do anything in this world. That's what critical race theory ultimately teaches, although they wrap themselves up in being so-called anti-racist, all right? So when people say, you know what, I don't want critical race theory to be taught to my children because they're being taught that white people are evil and everyone else is a victim and they are subservient to the white man, whether they know it or not, whether they want to be so or not. When someone says, I don't want that to get taught to my child, then sometimes, a lot of times, especially if they're white, they're criticized as being anti-racism, which I guess it would mean that they're racist. This is not a good thing to be involved with. Speaking about critical race theory, not at all. Okay. And little kids, especially, if you want to be an adult and you want to believe this, if you want to go out and get these books by some of these so-called anti-racist people and people that believe in critical race theory, like what's that? Nicole Hannah or whatever her name is, Ibram, Xindi, all these people. If you want to get involved with that as an adult just for yourself, then go ahead. You can do whatever you want. You got guys and girls out here creating new species of people, and not people, but species of, I don't know, beings, and becoming that. If they want to engage in that fantasy, then go ahead. Okay, if they want to put saran wrap around their mouth, talking about that'll be a good mask, then go for it. I'm not here to stop you. But when we're talking about children, I think not. When we're talking about having it in the workplace and making people adhere to that, I think not. If you as a boss or a leader or whatever in the company have your personal ideology, let that be you. But then when you try to force it upon others is when we got a problem. Now, it's one thing to have an ideology of, I don't know, kindness, respectfulness, even religion to a certain extent. If you're Islamic and you want to have certain practices in your establishment, like not serving pork, I don't see what's wrong with that. And if you're a Christian, you can have certain practices as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But then when you say, all right, we're going to have critical race theory, and because you're white, you are automatically going to be treated worse than a black person or a non-white person. You're not going to be able to rise up in certain ranks. Now we're just dealing with racism outright. These people say that they want to continue the civil rights movement and whatnot, but all they're doing is reversing some of the things from the civil rights movement and going way past civil rights and back to a time of slavery when there were actual color classes. We don't want to go in that direction. And little kids, they know. Little kids aren't so caught up in this race stuff. The racial thing becomes more of an issue later when you got certain family divisions and certain cultural differences that come into play. But when kids are little, they don't need to get taught this thing about critical race theory, because as you get older and you see certain things that are different, you see certain cultural norms, people that have been brainwashed with critical race theory are going to approach these things from a negative, although they think it's positive. So when you see whites and blacks have differences depending upon where they live, somebody that's been brainwashed will think, oh, you know what? The reason why it's different is because the white man is evil. And what if you're a white person thinking that? You're thinking that you're evil, you're the bad one, you're the hateful one. So a person that thinks that way will be the type that will go out there and be talking about Black Lives Matter, holding up a sign in the middle of the road on the interstate and mess around and get hit by a car because they were out there at, I don't know, 2:30 in the morning with no lights, and then a car rolls up on them and can't see them. They are the ones that get involved with some of the more racially motivated attacks. Although the media will say it's the right, and those that don't believe in the anti-racist theory is really the other way around. We saw Chaz Chop and Free Out of Washington, a.k.a. quote-unquote Seattle. We saw that talking about black men get shot, killed by police, really, in Seattle. But in that Chaz Chop area where it's a so-called autonomous zone with no police, guarded by Antifa, who claim to be anti-racist, Black Lives Matter, who claim to be anti-racist, you had not one but two black teenagers that were killed by those people that were out there that wouldn't have been killed by the police. You see, they engage in racist actions. They engage in the racist rhetoric. Every other day, someone that claims to be anti-racist calls me some kind of racial slur, attacking me in some kind of racial way. Now, not in my face, but what do I know about what's happening behind the scenes that could affect me negatively and things that I want to do? I have no idea. But we don't want to have society be inundated with these kind of people that believe in the critical race theory. So shout out to Corey Yeshua and his daughter Royalty. You guys did a good job bringing critical race theory to light, because a lot of people don't know about it. They hear about it here and there, but they don't really know about it just from the average normie like you and me. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Corey Yeshua and his daughter Royalty said on the TikToks? Was it right on point? Was it off point? How do you feel about Corey and the mother's job raising their daughter? I think they're doing a bang up job. And you know what? Before I close it on up, I got to say one more thing. This shows how important fathers are, how important parents are, period. Two parents, not one, but two parents. That is extremely important to a child's upbringing. I've seen so many kids that just are lost because they have no guidance. No dads, and a lot of times, quite frankly, no moms. They're being raised by the Meemaw or somebody else, being raised by the state. This is how kids get off to the wrong foot and they engage in some of the more criminal elements in society. Have two parents in the household. You know what the recipe is for success when you're talking about children. Two parents raising them. Married parents, look, two married parents having kids, raising the kids. You have the building blocks for success. I mean, you don't have to be rich or famous or anything like that, but two parents, that does wonders. And I think Corey Yeshua and his daughter most certainly prove that. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.